Welcome everybody. Welcome back to Football Live. These are your guys. I'm Harvey, Biodun, and this is Ayo, and this is Charles. Welcome back, guys. Today we're going to be talking about this exciting game for the weekend that you people already know. I can see Ayo showing the box and the punches. I can see Charles not being able to throw back some punches. It means Arsenal is going to win. Everybody, we're talking about Chelsea Arsenal this weekend. So thank you very much for sticking with us. Continue to like, subscribe, and share our videos. Like I said, we're going to be spending time analyzing and dissecting the game Chelsea's home to Arsenal this weekend. I'm going to just do a quick prediction of the rest of the other games. Liverpool, Everton, and some other exciting games coming up. So let's kick this off, and I'm going to start with you, Ayo, my co-Arsenal fan. Ayo, walk me through what we should expect. These are the teams coming back from the international break. I hope they had enough rest. I don't think so. So most folks are still traveling around the world, getting settled and ready to hear the tactics. So how is Arsenal planning to set up this weekend? Who should we expect? Is it going to play the same style against City? Going to do something different? We know Arteta is coming up with this different 164 whatever formation that he said, Ayo, kick me off with Arsenal.
Okay, so for Arsenal, I have to say it's the onus is on Arsenal to win this game, right? Given the form that Arsenal is showing currently this season, we're unbeaten, and what we did last season and the struggles that Chelsea have been experiencing, I think it's fair to say that the onus is on Arsenal to win this game. I don't think anyone will be so surprised if Arsenal win the game, but I think there might be some surprises if Chelsea wins this game. That said, both teams are coming into this game, in good form. Chelsea have won their last two games, so they closed, entered the international break in some good form. They started to see, players recovering from injuries. Reece James is back in training. What's his name? Jackson is also back from suspension. So the good news for both teams is both teams are on form. Both teams have a lot of their players back available. It's promising to be an exciting game. I'm hoping Saka is fit enough to start, but I think most likely he'll be playing a part in this fixture. So we have an exciting game ahead. We'll break it down more further, but that's my initial analysis.
And it sounds like you probably just made the news that's going to be very exciting to the ears of the Arsenal fans. I mean, people hearing that Saka is back. That's another tool in the tool.
Yeah. So Arteta mentioned in his press conference that he was asked directly, will Saka be available, and he said, well, let's see how he does. He hasn't been involved in a lot of training. That is team training. But he did also say that Saka had, a couple of days off and that he was back into, work and get treatment and also train, so there's all that training that happens besides team training to make sure he's available for this game. So having had those 2 weeks off, which I think was very important for him, I think we should see him available for this game. It's really been like 3 weeks because if we remember, he also didn't play against City. He left in the Champions League game. So he's had a good amount of time.
I'm going to come back to you regarding some other players and possible other injury update. But I want to touch base with Charles. I know he's been itching to say one or two things. So Charles, tell me, hit me. How is Chelsea planning to offset the Gunners this weekend? Are you feeling excited? Are you feeling confident? Are you feeling positive? You guys have been rising in form, and your confidence is getting restored. And Sterling is doing very well, and you have your guys back. The news of Reece James and all these guys. So tell me, this is a $1 billion club, man. With that money, man, Arsenal should be like crying and hiding. So tell me what's going to happen this weekend.
Well, Chelsea Arsenal, the game of the weekend. Honestly, I'm excited. I'm excited football is back. I'm excited we're back from the international break. Club football is back. So I'm very, very much looking forward to this game. In fact, I may even be having some friends over to come watch with me because it's always good to watch with friends, right? Now, what are we expecting this weekend? The thing is, coming from international break, sometimes it's unpredictable. There are teams who go into international break on form, come back with drop form. Sometimes it's vice versa. Some teams are not on form when they go into international break, come back, and then they suddenly pick up form. So, on that note, I wouldn't really speak on the form Chelsea and Arsenal were on before international break because they were both doing good. Like I said, Arsenal beat City, Chelsea won their last 2 games. So, it looks like both of them are bringing positives, right? But the thing about it is, I'm talking about the Chelsea spirits now. We've known that Pochettino is talking about patience since the beginning of the season. And yeah, it makes sense. It's a fairly new team. Pochettino is a new coach, and basically the growth has been really, really slow. But I expect a Chelsea that brings the game to Arsenal, that will bring games to Arsenal because we're playing Arsenal, just like we did against Liverpool in the first game of the season, which ended up in a 1-1 draw. We brought the game to Liverpool. Now, after that game, we kind of dropped in form. A lot of things have happened between now and then. But because we are facing Arsenal, it's a London derby, I expect Chelsea to be on their best form. Tactics-wise, I'll leave that to the coach because I know a lot of things can be changed. But in order to talk about the tactics aspect, we can say, like you mentioned, Biodun, some players are back. Reece James is back in training. Gusto is no longer suspended. Nicholas Jackson, same for him. So we have a fairly full squad. I mean, Chilwell maybe not back, and we have a lot of people that can play the left back position. But I think if we have the full squad on deck, this game can go either way. Is what I'm trying to say. I'm not writing Arsenal off, not even close, because Arsenal just beat City.
Okay.
We know what Arsenal did last season, so we know you guys have what it is. And as Ayo pointed out, if Arsenal wins the game, it won't be a surprise to anybody. If Chelsea wins the game, it will be a surprise because we are low on the table right now. But realistically, the Chelsea team that is being built right now, and I believe at this point, Pochettino he knows who plays in the best position. If he brings those players with the momentum we've had in the past 2-3 games, I think this will be a very good game to watch.
Awesome. Charles, I'm going to come back to you. There's still a lot of things to talk about here. Wayo,
yeah.
I want to come to you, and while you're doing that, can we bring up the last lineup from both teams and just now want to kind of just walk through what could change, where would you change, who would you keep, who are you going to switch or bring into this play, and make the case for Arsenal, then also make the case for Chelsea. I'm going to come back to you, Charles, to say make the same case for Chelsea and make the same case for Arsenal. Wayo, I'd like to start with you. Walk me through this formation. Who should stay? Who should be changed? And obviously, that some people are out injured, like Roger is out injured. Go ahead, Ayo.
Yeah, so I think one thing that has me really looking forward to this game is it's arguably the best two midfields, in terms of maybe expense when you talk about Chelsea's midfield and quality when you talk about Arsenal's midfield. So it's two of the most exciting midfields in the league. You're looking at the likes of Declan Rice, Odegaard, and for me, I would like to see Partey start. I think Partey is fit enough to start this game. And so I would like to see those three starts. And, we're looking at Caicedo, Enzo, and Gallagher. We know Romeo Lavia is still not fully fit, so it's likely that Pochettino sticks with the same three. But for Arsenal, I would like to see us start with that same three. I would like to see Martin, Odegaard, and Rice, both push higher up. And if Saka is unfit enough to start, I would actually plop for Kai Havertz to start up front against Chelsea. I think that could be an interesting joker for us. I think he will know the defense because if we look at Chelsea, right, despite all their struggles, one thing that they've actually been very consistent at is not conceding goals. They've actually had a very good defense, marshaled by Thiago Silva back there. And so the onus is on Arsenal to find a way to break that defense. So that's what I'm looking at. I think Arsenal's midfield wins the battle on the day. Martinelli is back, so that's going to be an exciting battle. I expect Gusto to start against him as well. So it's going to be some interesting rotations in that midfield. Zinchenko is available, so I expect Arsenal to win the midfield battle. I would like to see us push, 2 high eights and have, force Gallagher and Fernandes back. Gallagher likes to run a lot. I would like to see Arsenal show some maturity and some quality and have him just chasing shadows all over the pitch. So that's what I'm looking forward to.
Also, Mario, I'm still going to stick with you because I want you to make the same case for Chelsea. But before you do that, I just want to confirm something that you said. So looking at this formation, swap Jorginho for Partey, take out Trossard for Martinelli, take out Edward Nketiah for Kai Havertz, and play Jesus. That if Saka, play Jesus where he is, if Saka is not available, right? That's the case you're making. All right, but if Saka was to play, then we'll have to bring Jesus into the center and play Saka over there. I think that's the case
there.
Right there, right? Yeah. Now, quick question: are you going to keep David Raya in goal, or are you going to swap? You're going to take in Ramsdale?
I think it's clear enough now that Raya is our number one. And I think I've talked
This
about it. So there's been a lot said about the Raya Ramsdale debate. I think in the Premier League, Raya is my preferred keeper, to be honest. Raya has this confidence about him in high pressure situations. You know, we saw some instances against City where, you know, we were under pressure. City was pressing up high, and Raya was making mistakes. But when you look at his demeanor, he kept it calm, and I think that rubs off on your defense. Ramsdale, when things like that happen, you can see the nervousness, the jitter, on his face, and I think that rubs off on the defense. So that calmness.
right.
The second thing is Raya has shown to be much more effective in terms of dominating his box. He comes out often to claim crosses, to grab corners, and I think that just takes pressure off a team when you're under attack. It means any balls into the box, you can trust your keeper to take that out. So I would start with Raya in goal for this game as well.
Okay. Any changes to this Chelsea side if they actually won the 3 points? What would you change?
Well, Broja is injured. I would maybe have been a bit more worried if Broja was available because Broja, is a bit more no nonsense than Jackson. I feel a bit better with Jackson coming in. I've talked about Jackson. I think Jackson needs to improve his finishing. He's very mobile and he's very good on the ball, so he will do a good job of holding up the ball and bringing the teams into the attack. But I expect them to start with pretty much the same lineup, except maybe now that Malo Gusto is back, Cucurella will move to the bench in place of Gusto.
Awesome. Great analysis, Ayo. So, Charles, pick it up from there. Walk me through Chelsea. What else are you going to do? What other tricks can you do to this team to deliver 3 points at Stamford Bridge? This is a home game for you. How would you win this game?
Yeah, so I just said a lot about what I would do actually. Broja is out, Jackson comes in. Yeah, I would normally have preferred Broja to start, like Ayo said, because Broja is a little more direct. But Jackson playing doesn't actually reduce the threat. I actually think it depends on who plays on the wings. And if we're playing Cole Palmer and Raheem Sterling as seen here, man, even if it's Modric, we're going to play. I know you guys, Arsenal fans would love to see Modric play against them. I think something can still be delivered, but although I will prefer Cole Palmer and Sterling as same here. So Jackson with Cole Palmer, Jackson coming in for Broja because Broja is injured. That's good enough. The Enzo, Moises Caicedo and Gallagher, midfield. I really do like that, but I would prefer Gallagher to be pushed up a little bit to support the attack. That right there, because Gallagher is a hustler and he has an eye for goal, but he also has a way to connect with the attack. He may not be the best passer of the ball, but he's been putting in the work. So Gallagher up front would be good. Now the only other change I would make would be the right back position. Yeah, Cucurella he's been good in the past couple of games, but I would say let's try him again on the left. I'm not a Cucurella fan. All my Chelsea fan friends know that, but because he's a natural left back, I would actually like to see him try on the left against Arsenal, in place of Levi Colwill, because Levi Colwill, he's not a natural left back, but he's been doing defensive aspects well. Hasn't done much in attack on that left flank. And I think Cucurella can give a little help to the attack. On the right, we hear Reece James is back in training, but even if it's not Reece James, it will be Malo Gusto, which I'm fine with either. Now, I always believe in starting with your best player. So if Reece James is fully fit, I think Reece James should start. With that lineup, I think we can really take the game to Arsenal. Now, if my Chelsea fan friends watch this and say, I said Cucurella should start, I'm saying so because of because I'm really not a fan. And it's not really that good in defense, but if you can push the team, basically push the Arsenal wing backs back a little bit with Cucurella, pushing an attack, that will favor us because Levi Colwill will not do the job. Levi Colwill sits back, it doesn't really push up as well as Cucurella would. Now, of course, Chiro would have been the best man for the job, but he's injured. So I'll take Cucurella on the left, Reece James or Malo Gusto on the right, Jackson up front. In the midfield, what's his name? Gallagher pushed up front, pushed up a little bit behind the striker.
So let me ask you something, Charles. You talked about Modric. Would you sit Jackson and have Modric play with Sterling and Palmer?
Nah.
Maybe Sterling in a false
I was training the joke. I do want Palmer, Sterling. But hey,
on the wings,
yeah. Now Modric comes in, at some point comes in as a sub when the defenders are a little bit tired, could be benefit for us. So, but I do want to see Modric play in this game, maybe not start.
Awesome. Great analysis. Charles, you said something that actually caught my attention, and I just wanted to bring it back to both of you. So Arsenal has beaten Chelsea 4 times in a row, which is a great record and very, very positive and encouraging. However, getting Cole Palmer during the transfer window and Ryan Sterling keeping it, I think it presents us a different challenge this time around, right? Because you have to, Palmer showed signs and he actually scored against Arsenal in the Community Shield. So Palmer showed a good sign, showed some very good signs so far, and Sterling delivering as well. Ayo, is that a threat? Should we be worried, or that's just another thing? This is Cole Palmer playing against Zinchenko. Should we be worried?
I wouldn't be worried. I'm more worried when Zinchenko comes up against fast wingers. Cole Palmer is more tricky, and I think Zinchenko is actually a capable defender as long as he's not facing someone with pace. What we see there is because he inverts and comes into midfield, a lot of times Gabriel is forced to pull wide and close down that threat for him and give him time to recover towards the center before they then swap positions. So against Cole Palmer, who I don't think is a very fast winger, he's more tricky. He likes to come in field as well. I think he'll get cover from both Gabriel and Declan Rice, and we should be fine on that wing.
Thanks, Ayo. Good point. Do you agree with that, Charles?
Yeah, I do. It depends on how the game goes, but which is also why I mentioned the Modric aspect, bringing him in at some point to use his speed. But yeah, I do agree with you. There's always a solution. That solution sounds good for Arsenal at the moment. Yeah.
Charles, who needs this game more?
Chelsea. Chelsea needs the game more because of
also
the confidence we've been building. Arsenal, on the other hand, if you lose this game, you can always pick up the next game. You're on form. You just beat City. You're running off that eye. If you lose this game, people are going to say, "Oh, Arsenal lost," but I think you can move on. Chelsea, we're at the moment where we need to build momentum in 5 wins, 6 wins straight. So we've already gotten 2. If we then drop now and then, it's just Chelsea needs it more, is what I'm trying to say.
Before I ask you the same question, Ayo, Charles, can you please address this before I go to Ayo?
Mm-hmm.
So you just explained what a win could do. What would a draw mean to Chelsea?
It will mean we're still growing. It's not as bad at all. A win or a draw will be fine for this game. A loss is what we want to avoid because it's a mental thing. It takes us back to where we were before we won the last 2 games, which is where we're really, really like losing games consistently. So I think a draw or a win, good. Of course, we want to win. But even if we get a draw with Arsenal that just beat City last weekend or 2 weekends ago, that's a positive. We can still ride off that high onto the next games. And if you look at Chelsea's lineup for the next couple of games, it's Arsenal, Brentford, City is in there, Brighton is in there, I think Liverpool is in there. So
correct.
If we can avoid losses within these games, get draws here, get wins here and there, it's a positive. A loss is what we need to avoid.
Ayo, same question. Who needs this game more?
I think Charles had a good point there when he says Arsenal could maybe survive losing this game. So I think winning that game against City was so much more important because what it did last season was, I think it was a 5-point difference. And it came down to the fact that if Arsenal had won just 1 game against City, they might have won the league. So I think that game was so much more critical and so much more important for Arsenal to win than for us to, draw or lose this game. So in that regard, I would say Chelsea need it more. They're still in the bottom half. They have a tough run of fixtures. I think the stats say that they had maybe the 3rd easiest set of fixtures, in the first 8 games. And then next set, they actually have the 4th hardest set of games based on stats. They're facing the likes of City, they're facing Tottenham, they're facing Newcastle, they're starting with Arsenal. So it's a tough run for them. Anywhere they can find 3 points right now, especially given their current league form, is very, very important for Chelsea. Yeah. All the best, Charles.
All right. Thank you very much, Ayo, for the response. And as I begin to wrap this session up, Ayo, what's your prediction?
Arsenal win.
Scoreline.
Arsenal win.
Scoreline.
3-1. Now I'll take that back. I'll take that back. Chelsea isn't conceding as much. Maybe a 2-0 or 2-1 win. Yeah, I'll take that back.
Prediction and scoreline.
I want the Chelsea win, but I'm going to predict a 1-1 draw. A 1-1 draw.
1-1 draw.
That's really cool.
I don't see it being a goalless game, and I think both teams are going to score. It's just about who scores more. But I think it's going to be a 1-1 draw. I'm giving it that.
Sure, be 1-1.
I definitely like to see. If I see Cucurella starting, I'll feel very confident.
It's been a fun one.
Yeah.
Right back position. It's been really good. So
he hasn't come up against Saka and Martinelli though.
He hasn't come up against Martinelli. He hasn't come up against Saka. He hasn't come up against Jesus, right? I just think those three people that rotate a lot within the three of them, I think that might be something to take him out of shape. If Cucurella is cool-headed, he's actually a very pleasant player to watch.
Yeah, but he's almost never cool-headed.
I think his deficiency is in when he then gets into the opponent's last third to make the crosses come in, or maybe two thirds. He doesn't have a very good delivery. It's not that great with his delivery, but sometimes he could just sit down and do a very good job. But I would love to see him, see how he comes up against folks like Saka, Martinelli, Jesus. Hopefully, we all have our squad that way. But great analysis and discussion, gentlemen. Can we quickly take the prediction for the remaining games? I don't know if we have those fixtures up. If we have those fixtures up, we can quickly bring them up and just run through their scoreline prediction for the remaining games.
Let's bring that. Let's find the games. All right. I know we have a couple of other big games.
I can run through them from my notes here.
Brighton.
Charles, Liverpool, Everton.
Sorry.
Charles, why are you trying to look for that?
Liverpool, Everton, rather than the
Liverpool, Everton.
Derby.
Yeah, you want to give a prediction?
Yes, sir.
Liverpool, Everton is going to be 3-1 Liverpool. Liverpool's favorite scoreline. I'm going to keep running that scoreline for a while, especially by facing a weak team. 3-1
right.
Liverpool.
Ayo, Bournemouth and Wolves. Bournemouth versus Wolves.
Yeah, it's a Liverpool win as well. I've talked a lot about how Liverpool is solid at home and they've been shaky a bit away, but it's a definite win for them against Everton at home.
Okay. Ayo, Bournemouth, Wolves. Scoreline prediction.
I think Wolves will continue their interesting run of form. I had them going down for relegation, but they seem to be finding wins and picking up points. And I think I see them picking up another win here against Bournemouth.
See them picking up a win? Okay. All right. Cool. Charles, Brentford, Burnley.
Tough one.
Brentford, Burnley.
Burnley trying to rise. Brentford still waking up. I'll give it a 2-2 draw. Then they're going to be goals.
2-2 draw?
Yeah, 2-2 draw for the two of them.
Okay. All right. Ayo, Man City, Brighton.
Yeah, City
Man
win,
City's
definitely.
not going to lose 3 games in a row.
They're not. Rodri is back, most especially.
Think about this very well. Brighton. This is one of the games that they like to play. They like to play City. And they've always been surprising City. I don't see City losing 3 games in a row. Think about it. Is that your final answer, Ayo? Final answer.
I don't either, but Man City is going to be hurting, and I think more especially because Rodri is back. I think this will be just a little bit too much for Brighton.
Did you say 3-1, or what did you say this scoreline will be?
Maybe 4-2.
I doesn't want to give scoreline. Just wants to give predictions.
Yeah,
I'm going to force him to do so. Charles, Newcastle, Crystal Palace.
Newcastle win easily, 3-1.
Easily?
Newcastle.
Awesome. Yeah. Ayo, Nottingham Forest, Luton.
Forest win.
Forest win?
Win.
That's how you said Luton will never win a game, but they won a game. I'm not referring to
Yep.
Yeah, I apologize to all Luton fans. Congratulations on picking up points in this league. But I'm sorry, every time I see you playing another Premier League team, I'm likely to predict a loss for Luton. So, unfortunately, yes,
Charles,
I see another loss here.
Sheffield, Man United. Charles.
I'll call it a draw, man. I know Man U they're trying to rise, but I think there's going to be an upset in this game, and that's going to be Sheffield. Sheffield is going to do an upset, so it's just going to be a draw.
Well, I don't know if I agree with that. I'm going to take your prediction on that, Ayo. This is one that I would like to take both predictions. Ayo, Sheffield, Man United. What do you think?
I think it's just sad, that we can't just guarantee a win from Man U, in this game. I think Man U will win, though. I think they have a lot of their players back. Anthony is back available playing at the moment. We don't know where that's going to end. And Højlund and Rashford are on form.
Yep.
So let's see. I think Man U's quality might be a bit too much for Sheffield in this game. Okay. Hopefully
and I support you.
Fans.
I support you. Scott McTominay seems to have found his way back into the starting lineup. I actually support you. I think Man United is going to win this game. Charles, Aston Villa, West Ham.
That's a tough one. But I'll give it to Villa. Villa has been impressive. I think they can pull this off. So Villa win.
Okay. Last one. Do we have a game on Tuesday? No.
Just Monday.
Spurs Fulham.
The league leader.
Well, joint league leader. Come on, man. We have the same points, man. Don't talk down on us. Spurs
number one
Fulham,
about you, so
same points, same goal difference.
Same points, same goal difference. I don't. They should have said 1-1, then 3. That's how we used to do it. Right? When you have 2 first, then you don't have a second. You have a third. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So Ayo, Spurs Fulham.
Interestingly enough, Spurs look like they'll continue their lead at the top of this table. I don't see Fulham posing a threat. I don't know what is going on with Fulham, but it looks like they are trying to find their way back after his name is escaping me. Their striker who left
Mitrovic
left. Last season we saw it as well. When Mitrovic was available, they looked like a top 4 team. When Mitrovic was injured or suspended, they looked like they were a bottom half team. So I think their struggles are going to continue. They don't seem to have found a solution with Carlos Vinicius or Raul Jimenez yet. So I think Spurs is going to be a little bit too much for them in this game, especially playing away at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, I just want to appreciate gentlemen again for joining me on today's show. Thank you for your analysis and your time here. I hope your viewers enjoy, and please continue to like, subscribe, and share. We hope for a great game, exciting game. And as an Arsenal fan, I wish Arsenal all the best, and I wish us a 3 points. I don't care whether it's Stamford Bridge. Let's go destroy Stamford Bridge again. Charles, what do you say?
We shall see. Tomorrow.
I see how confident you are. Thank you very much.
I'm very confident.
That's all, guys.
I just want to say more.
That's all, guys. Bye.